Hello, everyone. Ladislas Noyes from the wanderinginvestor.com. So today we'll be going down a rabbit hole, if I may call it this way. So back in January, I spent time in a nice resort in Nicaragua on the Pacific coast. I go there once in a while. And when I was there, I was having a discussion with Mike, who runs that development. And he told me about a new project within the development, which I thought is very interesting from a developer point of view. So essentially, Mike, you're starting a low EMF community. So I didn't even know what that was. So I think let's start with what is EMF and what is a low EMF community. And then we can discuss the business plan, potential learnings for investors, and then we can go into some financials.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. EMF stands for electromagnetic frequencies, right? And all devices, cell phones, routers, cell towers, all of it gives off this electromagnetic frequencies. And many people are sensitive to them. They react negatively to these frequencies. It makes them feel ill, and they have other side effects from being around EMF. And so we were approached by a woman who's part of these communities and asked us if we could develop a low EMF community. And there are measurement techniques. I mean, there's scientific equipment that measures these types of frequencies. And
actually, I'll interrupt you. I bought one of them actually, just out of curiosity after we had this discussion. I was just going around my own house. And then I saw that where there's my daughter's bed, there's quite a lot of EMF. I just kind of switched the bed around where there was almost no EMF.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to do anything.
But it can't
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I don't know, but it can't hurt. Right?
Well, and it is a rabbit hole, right? It really is a rabbit hole. And it can't hurt to have lower EMF. Look, the bottom line is everyone knows what a microwave oven is, right? It uses microwaves to make water molecules inside food vibrate. The vibration creates heat. Heat heats up the food. That's the basic principle of a microwave oven. Well, these electromagnetic frequencies, when they go through our bodies, vibrate water molecules, right? And we're 95% water, whatever we are, right? So they do something to our bodies. The question is whether it is harmful or not. And for some people, it is harmful. It makes them sick, right? And it's interesting about your daughter, right? I'm guessing that the wall on one side or the other is more of a substantial wall. Concrete does an incredible job of mitigating EMFs, right? The waves come in, they can't get through the concrete very well, which we know if you're trying to do Wi-Fi in a house that has thick walls, I mean, sometimes you can't get the Wi-Fi to go through or cell reception, right? So these things are really what we've designed into the community to provide a low EMF living environment for the people that want it.
Okay, so it's specific. You build the houses and the whole community in a specific way. Like, are people allowed to use Wi-Fi or they're not? Like, how does it work?
Right. And this neighborhood, and the nice thing about being the developer of this whole area, I mean, it's 2,500 acres, right? It's a huge piece of property. We're the developer. We set the rules and regulations in each neighborhood. And this neighborhood will have no Wi-Fi use inside or outside the home, no cell phone use outside the home. And even people coming into the neighborhood, workers and other people who come to visit, will have to turn off their cell phones or leave their cell phones outside this neighborhood. Yeah.
Cool. So there's going to be wired internet, right?
Yeah. Yeah, each home will be wired with fiber, with Ethernet drops. And, and actually it's interesting because one of the things that came out of this was a lot of people have security concerns, like internet security concerns. The wired drops are far more secure from a hacking standpoint than Wi-Fi, because you can hack Wi-Fi, but you really can't hack a fiber connection. So
what are the construction costs of low EMF housing versus regular housing? What's the delta?
Yeah. Well, you're building out of concrete. So, and we do build out of concrete at Grand Pacific anyway. So the delta is about 15 to 20% to actually have the shielding devices, special paint, special fabrics, things like that. A lot of it's just simply in the design of the home, putting all of the electrical appliances on one wall away from the bedroom. Even electricity going through wires creates electromagnetic frequencies, right? Electricity is electromagnetic. So again, it just running your wires on one side of the house and using concrete with a lot of shielding really takes the EMF level way, way down for folks that want that.
Okay, so look, being a developer in Nicaragua already as is not particularly easy because it's a low liquidity market. Personally, I'm making investments in Nicaragua. I'm benefiting from the low liquidity by making good deals. But as a developer, it's not an easy market. So how do you reconcile being in a market that's already quite niche and low liquidity, and then coming up with something that's low EMF? So you're doing like a 2x niche. Isn't that just too niche for you as a developer? How do you ensure that you can actually sell these things and that the community is viable and that you don't just sell 5 houses and then that's it?
Well, sure. Actually, the nice thing, Ladislas, is we actually can sell 5 houses because of the construction methodology being fairly standard and just small tweaks to what we're currently doing. We can actually sell 5 houses. It won't be in this dedicated neighborhood, but homes generally are very low EMF and can be made almost EMF free because of the way we do construction. So we actually can sell 3 homes, 5 homes. But what we did was we designed a community that needs about 28 to 30 homes to launch and be that community we just talked about with no Wi-Fi use, covenants and restrictions, things like that. By taking pre-orders, by getting people down there and building up the number of folks that actually want to own it, we can actually serve the onesie twosies up front, but then also build the number of clientele that want it till we get to the critical mass of, say, 30 and be able to launch that community for those folks. So we can take care of the folks in the short term while we're building out the neighborhood itself that would serve, a much larger demographic.
So would you say that this is a good financial investment?
Only for the folks that want to own one of these homes for themselves, right? I think that's really the key. This is very niche. You said double niche, right? It's Nicaragua. It's low EMF. For an outside third-party investor, no, it's really not a great investment. But for somebody who wants a low EMF environment, it's a fantastic investment because there are just so few opportunities and products available in the marketplace anywhere in the world that offer this type of living in a community near the beach, right? I mean, just got a lot of different things going on. Yeah.
Cool. So for people who are interested in capital gains and rental income, this is not it. This is really for people who are interested specifically in the whole low EMF thing. So I think this is just an interesting case study from a developer point of view, in terms of a developer who is just coming in. He sees a tiny niche. I mean, you just saw this tiny niche and then you're just going for it. And just from being on Twitter, I don't know if it's because the Twitter algorithms are feeding these things to me or not, but there's more and more question marks around EMF. And I feel that more and more people are discussing this. So potentially that could be an opportunity for people that are looking to do developments in other markets, et cetera, to think about, because clearly it's coming a bit more into the mainstream compared to a few years ago. And also, just to say a few words on Nicaragua, because there's a lot of bad press about Nicaragua. Personally, I'm making investments in Nicaragua. I feel that the market is, generally speaking, very undervalued. There are a lot of catalysts in Nicaragua, most notably a lot of Chinese investment that is going to start hitting in 2024, really. All these MOUs were signed in 2023 with the Nicaraguan government. And from 2024, we're going to be seeing a new international airport being built, actually not too far away from your development, about 2 hours away from the development. There are studies, engineering studies that are being done for a big railroad across the country and between different cities. There is a big coastal highway that's going to be built that actually lands close to your development. There's also infrastructure that's being built for gas storage. So there's just a lot of things that are happening in Nicaragua. And when you just look at Western media, you just see negative stories about Nicaragua, financial issues in Nicaragua. The reality is, when you actually dig into the numbers, the government finances in Nicaragua are very healthy. The government's running a quasi surplus. The foreign exchange reserves keep going up. So the government's quite good at managing its budget. The government also understands that it's at risk of external shocks like U.S. sanctions, things like that. So it's just accumulating foreign reserves, and now it's just partnering with the Chinese. So we can say whatever we want to say about the Chinese, But at the end of the day, it's a positive development for Nicaragua and very much under the radar. So I'm not saying that it's a low-risk jurisdiction, but it's certainly, I feel, a mispriced jurisdiction. And that's why, personally, I'm making investments in the country. I don't know if you have anything to add here, Mike.
I concur. I think it is vastly undervalued, underrated, and people that listen to the general Western media really miss the point. I often tell people the absolute best investment they can make in Latin America today is about a $2,000 investment, a plane ticket to Nicaragua, 4 or 5 days, and a rental car. Run around the country, see it with your own eyes, and when you do that, you will absolutely get the joke that you're being lied to by the Western media, largely, not entirely, but largely. And it's politically motivated. And if you see it with your own eyes, you'll get the joke. So a couple $1,000 investment is probably the best investment anybody can make in the region right now.
Yeah. And biggest downside is, I don't know, like worst case scenario, you just had a really nice trip. So,
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Fantastic. Look, Mike, thank you very much for your time. If anyone is interested in finding out more about the low EMF community, there is a link below, and then you can get in touch directly with Mike's team, and then they'll send you the brochures, the pricing, all the information. Great. All right, Mike, always a pleasure, right? Cheers.
Indeed.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, linked below. And feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.